We got more clips from minicamps and OTAs, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Detroit Lions and getting a good look at Jameson Williams. We got one clip today. It went viral last night of him bringing in a deep ball, a pretty ball from Jarod Goff. We're going to go over that, talk some ball, but before we do all that, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going hard in the paint, looking at these rookies from rookie camp to OTAs to minicamp to training camp. All your favorite veterans. In between, we're looking at the storylines, what's going on behind the scenes at these practices. Click that button. Stop missing out. This is just one clip, 6 seconds, just to preface that. But a clip is worth a million words. And we're looking at Jameson Williams here. We're going to take a look at him. Watch him. Deep ball city right there. Bringing it in. Excited. And the thing about Jameson Williams, we've been watching him these last couple years. 4.3 speed, waiting for him to get off in the field. The injury really impacting things. Last training camp didn't go so well. Amon Ra St. Brown, he's a dog. Going to command a 25 to 30% target share. Sam LaPorta, he's going to command a 20+% target share as well. He's going to be on the field all the time. Now you got Jameson Williams here, who's starting his career off slow. We're going into year 3. The odds for year 3 breakouts for wide receivers thin out big time. They sure do. The odds thin out. How can he contribute to this team from a football standpoint? And that's with the deep speed. It's with Jarod Goff chucking those deep balls. This was a wide receiver class that was super deep with talent. And we're talking about 20 wide receivers who had a day 2 grade or better. And we had a ton of them for them to choose from. But they did not go hard in the paint there. They did not, and Williams came out a big winner from the draft here. We have to realize that. He has to realize that, and really take that in and take a step forward in his development. Start putting those talents on the field. Start putting the pen to paper here. Start getting it done, not just in training camp, not just in OTAs and minicamp, but when we get on the field, we have to make it happen. We've had moments. We do have some moments here of live games where he has shown or flashed his potential. But we have to put it together. We're getting later into our career. It's not late. It's not too late. But we're getting later in our career here. We have that 4.3 speed. We have the ability to separate. We have all the intangibles to get it done. If you're talking about for fantasy football, lottery ticket. It'll always be a lottery ticket, especially if he's on this team. Because of the speed, because of the ability to command deep balls, command the volume of this offense. This offense has a lot of volume to it. They spray the ball downfield. It's a little bit of faster offense. However, why you do not want to spend a lot of capital on him is Amon Ra St. Brown's going to get his. Sam LaPorta is going to get his. When you got a tight end soaking up target share, and then you got an alpha wide receiver along with that, not many other wide receivers on the team is going to eat. But what should perk your ears up a little bit, daily fantasy football, random or all the time, depending on how you play the game, because there's a million ways to do it for DFS. But he's going to give you some splash weeks if he's on the field, seeing targets and running routes. If his route participation rate goes up in any degree, at any capacity, you got to throw him in some lineups for some tournaments, especially if you're maxing out. If you're not maxing out and you're playing cash games, then you want to alter that strategy. If you're playing redraft, just a lottery ticket you're turning burden with. If that. Dynasty, cheap chip, but I like to use my cheap chips on running backs. I really do. I like to be stacked at wide receiver and use cheap chips at running back. But if you need to, or if you're in a best ball league, then that's cool because you'll probably get more ROI out of that because he's not going to be steady unless something happens to Amon Ra St. Brown, which we don't want to happen, like injury-wise, or to Sam LaPorta, or if this team has something happen and they got to start pushing deep balls more. But Jameson Williams, for a functionality standpoint for the Detroit Lions, you're looking at a wide receiver that can get downfield, stretch things out, make it easier for Amon Ra St. Brown, and then also be a threat downfield, take in some of those deep targets. Some of those targets are going to be harder to bring in. Some of them be a little bit too high. Some of them will be contested. You have to account for that too. But if you bring in 1 or 2 of those in a game, you got a big game there. And on top of that, if he brings in a couple of those every so often, once every 3 games, you're talking about more games you're going to win as well, because that's a series where you just gained 40 yards off the rip like that on one shot. That's what you're looking at here from a functionality standpoint, from a fantasy football standpoint. You're looking at a high-end volatility play. You're looking at like a Will Fuller-esque wide receiver where it's like nothing, nothing, nothing. Boom, spike week. Nothing, 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 nothing. Boom, spike week. That's what you're looking at. And depending on how you want to play the game, you may hate that. Or you may love that. Because those spike weeks win weeks. Those down weeks lose weeks. But you can also guess it due to the matchups. You can also have a good educated guess towards that due to target share matchups, cornerback matchups, and all that stuff. How Detroit's running the ball, how they're pushing it downfield, their tendencies, the tendencies and weaknesses of other teams they're playing up against, all that stuff in season. You may love that. You may hate that because it's not consistent and you're not deep diving that as much and you just want a consistent player. Then you do not want that as a lottery ticket. His upside is the spike weeks. That's definitely for Jameson Williams. That's if he can tap in and we can get on the field and become that spike week guy, that spike week dandy that we're hoping for. And Detroit Lions fans, you definitely want that because Amon Ra is going to eat, Sam LaPorta is going to eat, and that's what you should expect. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.